Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 5th, 2025 meeting of the Abington Planning Board, Abington Town Hall, 6 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Mr. Chairman, if you'd like, I can take, if the board would like to reorganize tonight, they can do that, or you can put it off till you have a full contingent. Don't think that Mr. Rangel's going to make our next meeting.
Okay. Yeah,
It's up to you, and if you want to proceed, I'm happy to take nominations for chair.
let's proceed.
Okay.
I vote we keep the board the same.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Congratulations, Mr. Chairman. I'm turning the meeting back over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate this. This is something I truly enjoy in my 27-plus years now on the planning board.
So Bruce has,
Been on that long?
Yeah, 26 5-year terms, yeah.
and Jeff is vice chair?
Yes.
Probably should have said that. And
Bo-
then,
And Bob, I think, is,
no, Rick is
Rick is
clerk.
Lucas clerk, okay. So thanks for noting that, Liz,
Okay.
Kevin. And really love having you guys, too. You guys do really do excellent work for us tonight.
Thank you.
All right, great. So Chair recognizes Ms. Shea and Mr. Cogan. Anyway, okay, minutes of the April 7th meeting, we have those, actually, right?
Yep, you don't have enough voting members.
No, we don't, but let's take a look at them just to see if there's any comments on them.
Yep. I didn't feel the need to give you guys what I had, so I didn't go to that meeting.
Okay. All right. Well,
And I wasn't coming wearing a mask.
yeah, I hope you, I'm glad,
We appreciate that.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
It took me a month to shake that thing. I don't know what it was.
Really?
but
Yeah.
I- 3 weeks, and then I didn't start feeling normal again for another week.
It wasn't COVID, was it?
Who knows, COVID, the flu, it was all going around. I didn't test, so.
I worked a night shift recently. This doesn't have anything to do with the planning board. And the guy I was working with was coughing all night. Like, oh, just don't make me sick, please.
Stay away from me.
Anyway, okay, so I guess we can't vote on this tonight, but if anyone, we've got some time. If anyone has any further comments on this, please bring them to our attention and we'll address them. All right, next thing is correspondence. We don't have any.
No?
Zoning Board of Appeals agenda. Does anybody see anything on it? Take a moment to read this. Okay.
No comment.
I love, when I do a project in the Muppet District, Sean likes to call it the Muppet District. But, anybody have any, looks pretty straightforward. Okay, all right. Form A applications, none.
None.
So I guess really we have 2 action items left. Discussion action, transfer of surety from cash to bond 198, 186 Center Ave through May 31st, 2025.
So we have received a request from the applicant at 198 Center Ave, which is now 186 Center Ave. When they split the lot, it gets its own number. That they would like their cash surety back, and they would like to give us a performance surety bond, which I believe I included a copy of that for you guys to see. If you feel so inclined to vote that, if you could vote the surety release through May 31st, to keep it clean so they can put the correct amount of interest on it.
Did you and Kevin see anything that we should be aware of in this document?
No, but one of them, it needed to be signed, and we sent it back and they signed it, so.
Okay, that's where it says principal with the check mark? Okay. All right.
Motion to accept. So what, are we gonna resend the?
So you're gonna release the cash bond and replace it with the bond
The
Surety.
From Western Surety Company.
So if you're releasing the cash surety, that's through May 31st?
Yep.
Who is Abington Investments? Is that Glenn?
Yep.
Okay. So just to be, the point is that we're doing something for Abington Investments, which is Glen LaPointe, a noted builder in Abington. So Bob has made the motion,
Second.
and Rick has seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And the last item we have on the agenda tonight is update from the town planners.
Okay, so I just want you guys to be aware, actually I put that stormwater inspections and as-built, if I can throw that on another agenda later on. I need to talk to the water department about that. I think I explained before we get, they can file with DEP and we get some reclamation water back from that. If we can prove that we're doing good stormwater work, we get credit for that on the other side. So, but I need more specific information from them on what they're gonna need moving forward. So anyway, that's just for another day. But I wanted you to be aware, Kevin and I are working on a couple of grants. And one of them is to overhaul our zoning bylaw. So we've had a meeting with OCPC, and they're gonna help us with our grant application because working with a regional planning agency
This is through the
makes it a
DLTA.
stronger, part of it will be funded through our DLTA, but it's a one-stop portal grant, so we're gonna apply, I think it's what, 60,000 from them, from the state, and then 20,000 from our DLTA money.
Which DLTA means District Local Technical Assistance.
Correct.
Yes. And that's been a great source of help to the town.
It is, we have benefited from that, this would be the third year in a row if we were to move forward with this project, so.
Yeah,
So as part of that, there'll be working groups with planning board members, zoning board members, the building commissioner, anybody we can think of that we should bring in to talk about what we'd like to see and what we'd like to do. This started initially with the Route 18 zoning, because we do need to do something with Route 18. And then there's lots of other little housekeeping stuff over the years that keeps piling up. So I think a fresh set of eyes, like I can give them with the stuff that I found over the years, but a fresh set of eyes looking at it might be beneficial for everybody as well. And it's not anything we don't need to adopt if you don't want to adopt it, so.
This will be similar to the working group for the ADUs.
Yep,
Correct?
yep, only on a larger scale, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we're working on that with OCPC, and we've submitted an application for stormwater modeling with Rockland. So that's gone to MVP, that's already been submitted. If we're successful in that, though, it will provide a stormwater model for both communities. The zoning, we're working on a submission, again, through the One Stop portal, but it's part of the Catalyst grant, which is MBTA community money, to have some work done on Center Ave and get it paved and, get the sidewalks accessible and all that stuff. Kevin is working frantically on a pedestrian access study for North Abington, because that was one of the things we heard loud and clear at that meeting at Martin's, was the lighting isn't great and getting across the street can be dangerous, and trying to figure out how to move people from one side of the tracks to the other, making that safer too. So we're gonna submit a grant to see if somebody can help us study that and come up with some solutions for us. And we are gonna try to get a water pipe in on Center Ave to Central Street, to help the two new municipal buildings that will be there. So that's where we're headed this year for Fun and Frivolity.
They don't have a water, they don't have existing.
There's a water pipe in there, but it's old.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we can time this right and get a grant through like Mass Works to get a water pipe in there, just from Plymouth Street down to the bridge.
I just have a quick question for you too. Kevin and I and a bunch of people, fire captain, Nick, the building inspector, and several representatives from the developer attended a site walk for, what was it, 161 North Quincy Street?
Yes.
And it's a friendly 40B. Friendly 40B means the developer is willing to work with the town, and it would be, I think it was like 40 or 50 affordable housing units at the site. And this is adjacent to the existing big apartment complex there.
The
The
Gables?
Gables.
Gables, thank you. And,
Is
you know,
it
I
this
did,
side?
pardon?
This
Yeah,
side of the
Abington
Gables?
side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not unfortunately the junkyard.
No, it's right
There-
after.
there's a driveway right next to the gas station.
Yep.
And it's going to be in there. And Kevin and I declined to walk out in the woods because it was all mucky. And we didn't have the appropriate shoes to do that. But do we have any idea of the timeline on
No, they haven't even submitted to zoning yet.
that? Okay.
They're still working on some paperwork for DHCD/EOLH, whoever's managing that now. They actually called last week. Trying to get some information from us that we didn't have.
And then just one other thing, the unfriendly 40B, which was very contentious at the town, 0 Summer Street, now it has another number.
412.
412 Summer Street, which is going up adjacent to the train station. And they're using prefab panels, and people who aren't familiar with the area or don't go by the train station, you ought to take a ride over there and see it. That thing is really going up. I understand they broke ground on that like right after the first year, and now that sucker is really going up.
Yeah.
So it's really something. And that is, you know, there's another 40B, which is on the other side of Summer Street, near the tracks. And that was built during the time I've been on the planning board. And that's, you know, I've read about that. That's pretty successful. And this is going to be an opportunity for people to get on and off the train pretty easily and stuff like that. Because the ridership on the train, you go by that parking lot, it's pretty well occupied and stuff like that.
It actually seems to be picking up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
It's
it's
really,
been dead for a long time.
yeah, the COVID recovery is taking place.
Slow, but it
Yeah.
seems to be steady.
Yeah, but, okay,
More and more companies are requiring that the employees come into the office.
yeah, yeah.
True story.
Well, my friend, Mr. Soper, down in the end has suggested that we move this right along, so does anyone else have anything they want to talk about tonight?
I just, you had sent out the OCPC regional water report,
Yes.
and the public comment period runs for, what, another week or so on that?
Yes. Yeah, there's a link.
Yep, and you had participated in that one?
I did participate in that one. It was a year. I will say, I think the range of voices that sat at that table are all reflected in that report. I actually have read it.
Yep.
It has some short-term and long-term solutions. I did go back when that initial report came out. Abington was not on the desal list to get in line for desal water should it become available. And I have since gone back to them because anytime that came up, I said, put us on the list, put us on the list, put us on the list. Because I don't know how long either one of those processes will take, either the MWRA to come down or Brockton to buy a desal and be able to sell it to us, or for somebody to buy it and sell it to us. So we are now back in the queue in this report anyway, our interest is being reflected for both of those options.
Okay. Have we heard anything more about the plans to bring MWRA into the base?
So there's a joint application from New England Development, and the city of Weymouth has gone to the state, so they have started that process.
I know, yeah, it was started quite some time ago, right?
I want to say like the end of last summer, they started getting that paperwork together to get it in.
Yep.
Estimates are about 10 years.
How much?
10 years.
10 years?
Because they got to run the pipe down
Yeah.
through multiple towns. They have to pick a route,
Yep.
then run it down, and that has to get funded somehow. Right, so I know the state has committed some money to do that. So I guess that's promising, so. Yeah, either way, we're between a rock and a hard place right now, because every extra dime we have, or the water department has, is going to treat PFAS. So there's not a lot of additional money floating around for us to explore additional wells and sources of money. So, hopefully, those treatment plants will be up and running within a year, and, then they can pivot and start looking for additional sources of water. But again, that's some time away too.
Yeah,
Nothing's going to happen
Only
overnight,
a couple of options, right?
right? Right.
Desal or
Well, I mean, we
MWRA.
can look at Myers Ave, we can look at other sources in our towns, right? Funny enough, pays to clean out every once in a while. I found a map from 2004 of potential public water supplies. So I scanned it and sent it over to the water department. They're like, it's from 2004. I'm like, I know, but there may be still some spaces on there that we haven't touched, so. And that's actually another grant we're working on with Rockland, is to investigate, I think it's Fox's Pit over in Rockland, and maybe Myers Ave, to do some exploratory water testing or whatever. I speak of what not I know, though. Right, that's way out of my wheelhouse.
Once upon a time, I was involved with the water planning function at Old Colony Planning Council, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's, well, you know what, I don't know if anybody's gonna take comfort in the fact that we're not alone in this.
Yeah.
Every community's facing some similar issues one way or another, between the PFAS treatment and water supplies, especially in the summer, when we have drought issues, so.
Yeah, well, according to Mike Bonkum on Channel 5 Weather Channel,
It's gonna be raining all week, so.
we're making a dent in the drought situation.
Actually, we're really not. I wish we were. I wish I could say we were, but, and I'm just quoting from a department head meeting when, they're talking about water or something, and he asks the superintendent of the water department, how's that? She's like, yeah, not really making a big dent for me, so.
Okay. Is that it for everyone? All right,
Motion
great.
to adjourn.
Bob's made the motion to adjourn. Rick, you want to second it?
Yep, seconded.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for watching. See you next month.